Hey San Diego, welcome back to the Apartment Geek Weekly. I'm Chris Robinson, and we took last week off for nothing other than being really busy. So I'm excited to be back and talking about flipping real estate versus holding real estate. So I think, this is something I talk to people about a lot, and what's your strategy long term? If you want huge amounts of passive income, cash flow, when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you don't want to work you don't have to work if you don't want to, buy and hold all day long. Buy apartments and hold them. Don't buy single family homes or condos, but buy 5, 10, 20, 40 unit assets, whatever it may be. To get to that point, we can talk about that a little bit more. Now, the issue that basically is fact about our business is it's very hard to get into apartment ownership. The barrier of entry is high. You need a lot of money, excellent credit. You need to get a loan, inspections, escrows, etc. So once you kind of make that huge first step, so to speak, that's the biggest step to kind of becoming an apartment investor. Once you're there, then you've got relationships with lenders. You can refinance out of assets, buy more units, and that's how owners in San Diego, well, all over the place, but people that we work with, I won't mention names, own hundreds of units or thousands of units that literally have started from small 4-unit, 6-unit buildings. So buy and hold, thinking long term, is just priceless to kind of operate from that platform. Now, if you flip real estate, and I've got some friends who make a lot of money doing it, they pay tax, a lot of times they just pay the tax and they don't go into a 1031. You're getting out of the business. So you've done all this work to buy the asset and find an opportunity that in San Diego is just going to become more and more valuable over time. And now they're taking that short-term profit that they've made over 6, 12, 18 months, and they're getting out. Now, it's hard to poke a stick at some of these people because they're making a lot of money. My suggestion to them is if you buy an asset that you just feel good about and the tenant base is solid and it looks like something that can or is and will continue to perform well, I would hold that building and don't sell it, at least for the next 3 to 5 years. You can always put that into a 1031 down the road, but refinance, get out of your temporary hard money loan, put conventional debt on it and hold it, because those are the properties when you're 40, 50, 60 years old that are going to start cranking, or any age. But San Diego real estate just gets better and better. So the 1031 exchange is kind of I'm a huge proponent of it, the IRS 1031 tax deferred exchange. Now if you flip an asset and you go back into a 1031 exchange, that's a great way to do it in theory. And if you kind of keep doing that to a certain point, then you get to a certain point and you hold what you have. I've heard a lot of investors, older people say, I wish I didn't sell that building when I was 35 years old or 40 years old or 45 years old. People in the retiring ages will sell properties, and they should sell properties, but a lot of investors that I've talked to they wish they would have held on to more stuff kind of in their middle ages is kind of what I hear a lot. So flipping versus holding, flip an asset if you find an opportunity, you don't love it, and it's something where you can make a profit on it, and it's something that you just don't want in your portfolio long term. I get that. Take the profit short term, roll it into a 1031 exchange, but stay in the game. I've seen a number of people buy a really cool property, fix it up, add $1 million of value or whatever it is, and then and then sell that property, get out of the business thinking that things are too expensive, there's going to be a major recession, I'll go buy another type of investment. And what happens when you get out of that is you're kind of taking that negative step you're losing so much of that initial groundwork that took so much effort to get into. So you're getting out of the game. Once you're in, stay in, keep the good stuff, accumulate more, hold properties for 3, 5, 7, 10 years. At those points, you should sell and exchange into bigger buildings. Do that strategically. If you need money from an asset, add value to it and then refinance, but don't let those go. Some larger owners in town have taught me over my 18 years to create as many basis points as you can, and to do that through the chronological or the timetable of life, or the timetable of your career, so to speak. So you want to buy a property, one property a year, or one property every 2 years, whatever it is that fits, and to create certain basis points at certain years. And what you're doing is you're locking in your property taxes with Prop 13, but more or less locking them in. And then you're continuing to kind of set different points along your career, 2005, 7, 9, 10, you can just keep going. And if you do that over time, and this is proven, that's where over 10, 15, 20 years of doing this, you start realizing huge, significant cash flow. And that's the way apartment buildings work in desirable markets that appreciate, like San Diego or Orange County or San Francisco, anything really on the West Coast. So I fall into the holding category. If there's a property that's a pain in the butt, I will sell it, but I'm not going into it to flip it. I think that is a little short-sighted if you want to be an owner and not have to work when you're 40, 50, 60 years old, and you want a ton of passive income so you don't have to work. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for tuning in. We've got some exciting guests coming on. And if you have topics that you'd like to hear about, please let me know. I'm trying to hit certain ones that I hear about, or I get emails and phone calls from owners on. So until next time, happy investing and be well. Bye.